Greetings, this is Frida Riametra. I welcome you to my recap of Four Side Dives, episode 26. This special episode, done a week early, this, much to my surprise, especially since I checked fairly recently before, and it said that it would be happening on the normal day, which is why I was so late in watching and therefore recording. But that's besides the point. This Force article contains not sure why they always put a symbol weird symbol next to it, but contains Ashley Johnson as Tavern Keeper, as well as Tarleton Jaffe and Laura Bailey. With special guest Brendan Logan as they discuss their adventures in the felling of Aor, in the three parts in campaign special Downfall.
We'll be covering everything that went down in Downfall. This is going to be such a juicy.
Yeah. I would like to refer to there's an official name of this called Oh My God, kind of clever. I just like the one they refer to it as in the show. What the frick is up with Downfall?
Episode, and I am so happy to be here reading this teleprompter. I mean, just look at me. You can tell that reading a teleprompter is my absolute favorite thing, along with saying complicated words correctly and conflagrating totalitarian majocracies. Speaking of which, the incomparable Brennan Lee Mulligan is here to tell us why he is so damn good at destroying flying cities filled with jerks. Allison Jaffe played as Caduceus's goddess, the Wild Mother. I'm so good at reading teleprompter. I played as Pike's goddess, the Everlight, and Laura Bailey played that bitch that ruined Vex's family in campaign 1. Nice. What the fuck is up with that? Well, we are gonna find out. But first, we say goodbye to something very special. The C Block. Aww. Or, as it was recently branded, More-Sided Dive, was a good block, a proper block. It was messy, boisterous, and often had nothing to do with Critical Role, much to the frustration.
Yeah, they did the same thing with the bits. They came back, and you've only ever said it's this episode.
Of our viewers, but not tonight. Since we have so much to discuss with Downfall, we will not be doing a More-Sided Dive for this episode, which means no games, no fuck-arounds. But yes, there still will be a consequence for the Tower of Inquiry, but out of respect, out of respect for the block that gave us so much, a tribute.
Remember the memories, cherish the memories.
Four-sided dive, block C.
Remember all of the memories.
I remember the
Remember all of the memories.
Yeah, you literally said it said we're not this episode. It's got. We know it's coming back the next one.
Goodbye, C-Block. May you be hastily shoehorned into the third act of our hearts and memories. Welcome to Four-Sided Dive. Let's conflagrate a totalitarian majocracy! Woo! I'm gonna go say
Yeah, I just want to point out, like, the flow there, but I did notice this while talking. No, the tower seems to be something else.
Inquiry.
Inquiry. Goodbye.
Okay, let's see. To start, what the frick is up with that? They start with character creation, which was an interesting thing, which was very interesting considering that they're essentially making in gods this time in mortal form. In case you're not, in case you don't know, spoilers warnings. But if you're not expecting when it's going into this expecting warnings, what the frick is wrong with you? There, originally there was like wondering they knew they were going to be playing some primes and stuff, prime deities. They were originally decided trying to figure out whether or not to have a mixed party of primes and betrayers, like actually have some of the players play as the betrayers. And Brandon Morgan said he's okay with playing betrayers, but they have to have some sort of like there has the there has to be something meaningful in the destruction. Like it can't like most of the betrayers are like, okay, we just destroy these mortals. Okay. No, your players have to have some maybe a little form of like in destroying a or. Mm, mm. And you can basically like it's not like you have to figure out how to accurately betray one of those in a way that like if you basically if they have to have some hesitance or something, and it has to be something understandable, not just like adding it just for that. It has to be something that makes sense. And since they couldn't figure out anything, they all ended up playing prime deities. Perfect.
Don't see as being good representations of what villainy is. Where you see something like Thanos, where it's like, I snap my finger and we need to free up more resources, and you're like, snap it and make twice as much resources. You have a thing where you're like, I don't know if you thought this through, big guy. Yeah. When in reality, when in reality, you have situations where man, I'd be snapping all day. Room temperature superconductors, nuclear fusion, bang, bang, boom, wow, pow, universal healthcare, but in reality, the villains of the world are motivated by fear of death, fear of loss of power, greed, like very simple primal urges to be like.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's more. It's also like you see the crimes as the good guys and the betrayers as the bad guys. what makes what do and what wrong. One of the big kind of things is like if they have more dilemmas, like villains and stuff. They're more like I think that it's not the a lot of people. It's like what benefits them and stuff. They they don't have to think about them killing all those, including those who are maybe innocent. The parents, they're the ones will have dilemmas and stuff, and they, maybe just maybe. One thing what was that well, going back. One thing is that during the character creation, he was he's gonna get this guy's Brendan given a lot of information, so much on the backstories of the gods and stuff, and what happens during in and before or the finals before the divergence at the end of Calamity. He needed to give some of that to them to help them understand the declare some like important events, but he can't give too much away because they're like half of the group, the ones that assembled in this Forza Live, are still going to be playing. mm, as characters after this, playing as the main characters after Downfall, when we go back to ourselves, and and Matt still wants to be able to surprise people with certain things. So, bit of a try to balancing act there, and keep these are they're playing as more as gods. So part of the backstory is the backstory of the gods. That is the these are the characters that have the most backstory. Uh, Even without taking out their the backstory of being of the deed stuff, they've also been they're also level 20 characters. Like they they just they probably got a lot of extra boost for being the avatars, but they had to go through lot of shoot to get there just in the mortal in the mortal plane. So they have the most backstory to explain, and also differently a lot of stuff in their backstory that they cannot explain right now. One interesting thing, and I get you could sort of see this a bit in how Ashley playing it. The Everlight Samurai right now is more from Trist. Strong is considered trying to stay mortal at the end of this to be with her mortal family. Right, that was one thing. Like she is a goddess of sort of like love, like maybe not always romantic stuff, but she's but I found and her to have such a bond. It's and knowing it has to break that, but it's hard for her. Like hard. Uh, uh, so that's how Ashley played. Towson, on the other hand, Ashley was playing like the was playing more of the angle of the a mortal who was at one point a god. Um, Townsend was playing his character, uh, Asha, as basically the Wild Mother is the one controlling it, taking the reins and stuff. No, it knows this is just temporary. And very interesting depiction, like not quite depicting nurturing Mother Nature you associate with her. But of course, that makes sense. After all, as is pointed out several times later, er, the, right, she's the goddess of nature, and nature right now is effed because of the damage of the calamity. This is not like the one of plenty of stuff. This is a famine, hunger, and trying to survive. Which is why she's one of the most okay with what they're doing there. Like, it's just means for survival. They also point out an interesting fact, like, while we don't see any truly evil aligned primary deities, they're not all good aligned. Like, some of them have the neutral things, like, such as the matron, or the wild mother.
And how do we do the most good for the most people possible? You have like Nashir, who's being like, I am here as the emissary of a lawful neutral deity.
Which took us by the fucking surprise.
Wow.
I didn't even ask you, because I'm sure you had so much like in your brain
I
of
was
what you were
ready,
gonna
and
do,
then-
like
Yeah,
all
we
these
were
relationship
saying-
things, and then Nashir shows up and is like, I'm not the lawbreaker.
Oh yeah.
I am this fabulous child.
I'm this fabulous
Yes.
child. It was so good.
Yeah,
And Nashir had this, and again, like when I talked to Nashir, I was like, with a lot of people, I said, what made you choose your side in the schism? Because
and because they're playing as people who are gods, embodiments of like ideas and stuff. They have to figure out how being that core concept of each god, why that they would choose the mortals during the schism instead of same betrayers for a restart. And being a lawful neutral, the oh, there was no like motherly affect. There's no like affection or stuff with that. It's not like if it was it is that the lawbearer would have thought that they owed mortals the chance to live and stuff. Like they just created, they can't just stuff. For they brought them into this world. They owe them a chance to let them. The world did not choose to enter the world. Well, the gods chose to put them in the world. They the gods owe them a chance to see what they can do.
complicatedly destroy the city of Aor, right? Where you're like, it's like, no, I remember we even came up with some Matt approved, like, divine laws and that like the lawbearer was setting out. And one of like the first one was like, the gods are unimpeachable, which is usually the first thing that any code of laws does is number one, this code of laws is the code of laws and it has authority because it has authority. Like you have a little
You can read its
tautology.
authority
Yeah.
right here.
like first rule, rules matter. Second rule, like in that like in terms of what felt right or wrong, as we started this, that document I gave all of you that had all these like mood board things on it, none of them were feel good. It was like Saturn devouring his children. It was like Lady Macbeth.
There's stuff like they mentioned this. This is supposed to be what they're supposed to be depicting is a tragedy, a divine one, but a tragedy nonetheless. The core thing is that the gods are doing this for survival. So, however, they're not excited that they have to do this to survive. Like He described it as having being dreadful tragedy, having a divine nausea over. Well, they have to do this art, but they definitely do not feel good doing it. They just sit there. They are actually sickening themselves, especially when they see certain servants. And start denouncing them.
So much of it didn't really fully. I mean, I knew what we were doing. We know the story. We know what happens. But I think it didn't really like when we hit the third game, I was like, shit.
I could see it on your face too. You were like, what?
I want to make different. Can we go back? Because I have
Can we
other
save the
things that I
bar?
want to do.
I just want to save the bar.
Yeah, yeah, can we
Just
save
the
the
bar.
bar?
Everything else,
The bar,
fuck everything
the
else.
bar.
The bar
That was
stays.
so cool.
The guy in the door.
ZVX.
Yes, I love him.
Love him.
Woo!
4X, the bartender, and all the. Well, and that's the.
Oh,
but-
that whole sequence was so wonderful.
Great. So completely unexpected. Like everything
Yeah.
else had been leading up, and then we walk in the bar. It was like, oh, I love it.
I love it here. Well, anytime you have totalitarian government, you have to have a sexy speakeasy.
Yeah,
You gotta
right.
array that shit.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally.
Absolutely.
This,
Happened to Cabaret.
Yes.
I love when
I
Alan Cumming.
did really well.
aware.
Yeah. That scene where Alan Cumming spins around in a door and then
Yeah,
opens
it's
up
my
and there's a
favorite
pocket
scene.
dimension. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
mm, mm. Um, and as I said during this, as they kept playing, they kept going to add new goals and stuff, like maybe spread this or something like that, or get this one. But ultimately, they were on a time limit of a single night. Going back to character, Laura's basically played the matron, so she wanted to play that like. For her, this is not some like a sad event. It's just something that is. Hang on, maybe there's a better explanation here. Yeah, no.
Curiosity.
Well,
Just,
'cause
I'm just
I
putting that
remember-
out in the world.
But
It
I
doesn't need
remember
a-
in the first campaign, which spoilers if you haven't watched it, when we do talk to the gods, like we went and saw the Dawn Father, we went and spoke to the Everlight, we spoke to the goddess of knowledge, or the knowing mistress. I know, Exandria.
I know
what
what
our
we did.
fucking gods are called, okay? And like seeing the souls, there were like souls that we passed by and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think Matt called them like, or maybe I'm just totally making shit up. Pearls, right?
I feel
They
like
were
yes, I
pearls on
remember
a
that too.
shore, like
Yes.
Yeah.
endless grains of sand.
Yeah.
I was talking to Nick Marini, who his portrayal of the Dawn Father and the Dawn Child, and kind of seeding like that last scene where he sheds Aiden as the Dawn Father, and you watch the beginning of a Dawn Father that in modern Exandria is much harsher and sterner, and kind of naivete or optimism dies in Downfall.
Yeah. They point out. Yeah, he points out further that the gods, when they first arrived, their arrival changed them. Like originally, they lived in this place of infinite possibility, and they were entities of that possibility. Hey, when they arrived, when the home was destroyed and they were forced to arrive, they became real. Like they still have a lot of powers and stuff, but they became real. Well, and they made choices which will affect them more on for then on. Like they no longer had quite the infinite possibilities anymore. As I said with the with when talking about how Townsend played the Wild Mother as sort of like not particularly the plenty and feast of, but rather like famine, hunger, and trying to survive. They're as I said, like they represent these vast clubs, but they are still finite, even no matter how vast. Like for the llama, the gods like of nature and trees and stuff. There's a set amount of insects, a set amount of birds, set amount of mammals, a set amount of trees and blades of grass. Huge numbers, but still there is a limit. And so, including these limits, it changed them more. And after further living themselves for a few decades, and suddenly coming over and living more alone, that too changed them. So they're no longer too destroying Eeyore affected them greatly. They also talked about how if this is a affect their followers who knew what they were doing. Like you see this plenty of times. Like what they've been finding the materials all the time. Wait, suddenly there's a threat, and now all of a sudden they're willing to work. It was kind of like how jarring it was, and especially for those who. And for the followers who realize that the gods who have been fighting this material still have more in common, more of a connection to these betrayers than they do to their loyal followers. They're grateful to followers, but they still see betrayers as family, and the horror of that. Like no matter how bad the enemy gets and stuff, the your leaders will still always be close to them. Now, let's for more.
Those gods harbor those souls, right?
Yeah.
Danny, do you have like?
Oh no, I was sneezing and
She's
trying really
sneezing.
hard to not sneeze into my
Got it.
microphone.
And those gods like harbor those souls.
Yeah.
Those eternal souls. What happens when those gods get killed?
So in a
What
way,
happened to those souls?
what happens to those souls?
Does that end all of the souls that had?
But also like those little pearls that were on the shore, are they just like,
Well, there was,
like what are they doing?
There was a process before the gods got there.
That's true. We knew about the primordials that lived Alexandria before the gods came, and when they and where they were looking. But they didn't. However, they do mention that there were mortals before the gods arrived. And I don't think they're just talking about the elementals themselves. Not sure what exists stuff. It's possible why there is evidence of dinosaurs there, despite not. They're like a form of witches could be why mortal life and stuff. Too. I've always had this kind of theory that there's some negative concepts with the gods coming there and sort of budging their way into the right, but budging their way into the something that was the primordials. I know we already know there's the elemental plane and stuff. I don't think the elementals and primordial titans originated on Alexandria, so they themselves were not the native species either. And considering how powerful and stuff, you wonder what happened to that there like I don't think the titans were very innocent in their occupation, but that's just my personal theory. They do talk, but they do talk about sort of like the cycle you see in all these mythologies, like the Olympians taking over the world from the Titans, like who themselves took over from their primordial gods. Well, it's the Aces are just suddenly arriving and stuff. They're in in, uh in Irish mythology, the Book of Asians, like there are many like different occupants of, including more divine creatures before the people of Ireland today, according to stuff, and they kept, and each new group kept taking over for the last and pushing them stuff. So there. Mm. And one thing that was mentioned, like how this was sort of like this over the course of this special was like since they're playing God was the process of the matron actually being fully accepted as a prime deity, like accepted as family. Like keep in mind, like they said, like a mortal lifespan. What's that time compared to an infinite life of a god? Like, which means for them, like the loss of one of their brethren being replaced by this mortal, well, which was 100, just two, like around over 200 years ago. Like, um, the they like it was like been like over 100 years or so since the beginning of the calamity, and they're like 100 years of calamity and stuff. 200 years. That's not much for God. So for them, is like a couple of days. Like a couple of days ago, this person just showed up in their home, and saying that they're a new family member, and this old one's gone. This is the point where she was accepted. Yeah, but like the wall, like you can see like the like certain ones like the wild mother, they're paying change of her over the course too. Like the Dawn Father, that's all change. Also, one thing was that it is that being a product of the Age of Crown herself, like one of the mages of the being a high mage of a mageocracy and stuff. She kind of knows that you have to stop them, but she kind of respects them for their accomplishment, and knows like is the only one who's saying maybe we don't need to do this sort of stuff and stuff. So like these are just showing stuff. I said, and she goes, to you they are, but yeah, you think them children. These are adults who have made decisions and they're proud of their accomplishments. You think healing hand and sort of parental display of parental affection of them, they will resent you for demeaning them. Okay, let's see. What was next?
Absolutely see it.
Yeah.
I have a point also for Ashley talking about that feeling, especially in that third episode, where everything starts to pick up and you're fighting in the Factorum Malleus and you're there with Cassida trying to get the things. And there's this moment where you realize, wait, Cassida thinks that she's building the weapon to help us, but then we're here with the betrayers that we've already decided to work with, and they're like, oh, she just wants to kill us, how fun. And you're like, oh, how do I manage this? Because she thinks she's helping because she sees it as a war, and it is a war, but it's kind of not a war, not for us. Also, I don't want to, yeah. And you're suddenly, and then it's you.
Trap them.
Yeah, that moment of realizing when for your followers, this is not just you sort of almost you've been fighting up, but you sort of almost see it as a trans level. For your followers, this is a full-fledged fight to the finish,
Forever.
It's you and
and that did.
the Lord of the Hells. I just want to trap them forever.
Come on.
Come
Don't
on.
get over it.
But you have this horror in this moment, and I think what the thing I wanted to say about the reality of that horror and how uncomfortable that was. And listen, all of there were so many moments on breaks where I would come out and see Abu or Nick or Nashir, and they'd be there like, and I'd be like, "You're nailing it." You know? You're I was like, "This is and it's a type of horror story. Again, it's not like."
It's not like not Five Nights at Freddy's like Freddy Cougar or something like that, like Jump Out Square or Draco. No, this is moral horror. It's like this is like freaking Sophie's Choice. Like, it's all in the psyche. And one of the points of like those sort of like the where the tone instantly changes, like for them they would like infiltrate the like they'd be there a while trying to see if they could stop whatever and stuff, oh, they have a end the fight finale. Then Father Milo, aka Asmodeus, comes in and says, based on what we see so far, we may not have even a week. All we may have is one night to stop this. Like, oh shit, there's a timeline now. Now decisions have to be like hard choices. They talk more about the Thousand Cities on Wildfire bringing like starvation or being like the ravenous instead of the nurturing. Some of this may not be incorrect, or the discussions like I might be skipping ahead of lines with that, but just to be clear,
that really bled out of her at any point was moving. I mean, there was no anger really. I mean, the only anger, the only human emotions that really bled out of her at any point was anger at her spouse. Was the only place where she kind of, that part of her personality would ever leak out. But there was no anger, there was no hatred, it was just, and like even in the killing, it was just, I need to eat something.
Yeah.
It was always very utilitarian and practical.
It's really nice to know that even in the primal depth of raw nature itself, your spouse flaking still pisses you off.
Yeah.
So much.
What? We had a plan. I've been here for 30 years.
You didn't know ahead of time that it was not going to be?
Nope. Fucking no. No, I did not.
I was watching your face, and you were just like,
I was so angry.
You're going
It was so great, but it's like, I could.
Was that you as the character or you as the player? Who am I kidding? It's probably both. Like the one feels betrayed, the other one's like, oh, I had such.
I could feel the how fucking dare you.
Yeah, Nashir had an amazing pitch, which was essentially Nashir was like, I think the lawbearer has already internally.
Basically, yeah. Lawbearer's course is or the damage being done, like basically sees the damage being done to the world and stuff. Like it has to stop. And basically, even well before the end, the destruction of Yor, and even before they started doing the she was already thinking up the Lion Gate. Then of course, it's for the discussion where they stopped talking about what it was like playing with their guests, and which was, but that was fantastic. And they point out like how in this situation, like a lot of people sometimes like to play the bad guy and stuff like that stuff because it's the more complicated stuff. Because no, the good is the more complicated. They're the ones that may have a dilemma in this. The the bad guy, like playing the bad character, is sometimes fun because of often simplicity. Like they have a reason that, and they don't care enough about other people, about others, or just people they don't know to have any objections. And then we saw the arch. We got this our first major touching to the Archheart, who been kind of while being a major prime deity was, especially in the lore, he actually in campaigns has had very little influence. And boy, how well it was played.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
It was like so perfect.
so perfect. One of them, like, I remember Abu being like, oh, well, someone's got to be in it. Can I be an Aormaton?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
It was like so perfect.
so perfect as he's like, and I talked a lot too because we haven't seen the Archheart a lot in the main campaigns. But you go into that lore, this is the guy. Abu played the character who is responsible for the cosmology of Exandria because there was peace, there were primordials, there weren't betrayers or primes, there were just the gods, and it was like, okay, I think the primordials are a little bit pissed that we're granting them spells, but we've cooled off, so we're just gonna keep granting them divine spells. They'll pray to us, we'll get worship. It's a little chaotic with primordials, but we're fine. And fucking the Archheart goes, I'm gonna give you guys treats while they're not looking.
Yeah. You guys are great.
You guys are actually
Yeah, playing the chaotic good deity as a fool may not put as much thought into things that he's playing the spontaneous one.
great.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're all going to war. No more primordials will be left active on Exandria. Almost half of our siblings are confined to hellish torture planes. I don't know. I thought wizards and sorcerers were pretty cool.
I could not believe what an interesting take on that character.
Yeah.
And every note that I was hoping he would hit got hit, and even the guilt of it and that conversation.
Yeah, keep in mind he is the god of the elves, who are fey-ish in nature. He's the guy who's gonna be he is the god most closest to the fey. Okay, it's kind of interesting because when I first start using D&D Beyond, I had a test character, so I've talked about this before. Who part of the factor is she lived in a time of great turmoil and stuff, and and that her mother, her father, who was trying to create this ultimate elf champion by uniting two houses who both had these powerful moonblades, like the ancestral sword of elf houses, and basically have a single wielder who can wield both these powerful things and lead the victory. Not and she's the beat one day. And when I heard about clan and stuff and got into Critical Role, I was like, ooh, that sounds like the perfect setting. So, and I had to create a psychotic god worship. Well, since there's no Mishra in this, like God's magic, the closest thing is the Archer, who is also God, which creates some Ichinak being a half elf. I was like, so this is basically one of the characters I'm most interested in. One of my save characters I'm most interested in playing as. This is her deity storyline. Like, ooh,
Conversation between the two of you was just like I went back and watched it like six fucking times.
mhm. Um, they also talk more about Laura's choice to play the matron. Originally, she wasn't planning on doing. Marisha convinced her to. Oh, which is interesting. Like before, was even like all the characters were like indifferent or except for Vex, who was like that Raven Witch. And in Laura's actual mind is like that Raven bitch. Like the actual player was not following. Now has no complaints on her. Like now that she's playing, no complaints. Like he has more of an understanding. And then they're talking about the scene where they're confronting the Plantars. I was like, and like the god, and you have this celestial conspirator who's playing out. He's trying to play. Then, in order to keep the secret, he goes slits his own throat and go escape. He said, and they talk about, oh, okay, now he goes right, maybe they those. He says, it goes, and Laura goes, so wait, now he's in my domain now. And it's like, oh yeah, that's like basically no resistance. Like he meets the not just like the avatar, but the full force of himself. There, and it's like he doesn't even offer resistance. It's just a. Then they start talking about poor Casa again, like
Or Cassida showing up and being like, I'm trying to help. And you're like, lady, where is the fucking elevator? It's just like, I don't have time for your life story. I'll see you on the way out, lady. Like,
There's a line. Get in the line.
Yeah.
It's gonna get long if you don't go right now.
Oh God, that was so. I had no idea either when you were like, then you're in Matron's realm, and I was like, oh, I'm like, I am the matron. In this moment, it was so fucking amazing.
yeah, like this God called this person up, and then like, oh, no, that's me.
full circle on the other side.
And all I could remember is like every moment that Matt had been the matron and like seeing that and get to be that was so cool.
I kept thinking of like when we do the recordings for the series, and when I was watching that, I was like, oh man, I can see a lot of that coming through right now. Because that's been I think mostly you have been doing the matron, or no? It's
Scratch.
yeah.
I've been doing. No, who has been doing? Have I been doing Scratch for matron?
Yeah.
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So it's just like
whoever's
I can
available,
hear
mostly
the
you.
exercise in there. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh God, we've been in a room hearing that voice not be Matt for a while, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They talk more about how after they first got there and met with betrayers, how they divvied up, like, and they had to like go off, like at least with the primes, like corresponding like domains, like death and duty, like stuff like that, like sort of contrasting corresponding. Then we had like it goes to their transform. And then we have like this, or the Saw one, who basically the avatars that are the most human, right now. You know, like in the most like simple ones that was love with her going to visit a hospital, stuff like that. And then of course, which also left of course, uh, and then that leaves the wild mother and what was supposed to be her wife, but not, and that's sort of married to her. Speaking of which, they talk more about the difference between like some of the avatars and they're like certain they sort of focus on more certain aspects there, like Aiden and Paylor, where like one's as I said, Aiden they call it the Dawn Child, while one's the Dawn, while the other one's the Dawn Father, and like we can perhaps we could destroy them, and we don't need to say this, and as like and Brendan's kind of a little irked that they never got a chance to for a conversation between like the Aiden, the avatar of Zalfa, and the actual Zalfa talking about stuff. Had a conversation saying with their saying we once we destroy weapons, stuff we maybe they'll not go any further and destroy the state. We maybe they'll save them and stuff like. And the Dawnfather's being like, and the Dawnfather's response is, and I love the fact that you think that. Basically, like they have like the optimist thing, and then there's one like, I like that part of you, but to be warned, it won't end that way.
Common. You guys set yourself up for the most pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Nick walked into this with his full chest in the first episode saying, they think that we're not united, and that will be their downfall, and we will show them a different way, which is the comedy version of being like, I'm never going to get hit with a pie. It's never going to happen. Which is the thing you have. Like, I really applaud the job you guys did, because for this to be heartbreaking, you need the gods who say, we can do this a different way.
Yeah. Speaking of that, they talk more about Ash's character Trist, aka Sanray, and the point where like once she leaves the archives, we're like thinking her family's left, and it's like she goes to her family, and they think, oh great, she's gonna teleport out and stuff like, and it's be like, oh great, a betrayal from the goddess of forgiveness, like who's gonna forgive her, be with her. But no, she decided to go with the family she's known, her divine family. Yeah, which is very touching stuff. Though it's a little sad because she has a chance to go meet with this family she's beginning to know and stuff, and just to go in a spot where to a fight which at that point, like as she approaches her, basically they make the turning point move. Like by the time she gets there, the top 3 wards are already destroyed and giving them the biggest boons all at once. Like once those 3 went down, those wards are down. It was no longer a fight. It was just seeing how long the Aor can hold out at that point. The fight was basically over there, so she could have. Don't say her. Though ultimately, I guess suppose it's a good thing she didn't, because she was the one who destroyed the blueprints for the thing before Asmodeus could escape with them. Even if the materials not being turned on them, if Asmodeus escaped, he would have been able to hold every other god hostage. if not just designed not to deal with them.
We're moving a little fast where I was gonna just walk by and be like, "How you are an idiot? How fucking dare
Which
you?"
would have been, which was
Yeah,
amazing.
was just
it's
walking
true.
by and just going, and not only you, and you said you'll be right back, you fucking liar.
Yes, which
Yeah, which was like,
so
like,
much of it.
that's
I was like, why am I
cruelty.
saying these terrible things and
Well,
lying?
I will say we have to be a little bit careful here because if it's cruel to have a family when one day you will have to say goodbye, if that's true, we're all in trouble.
Yeah.
We're all in trouble.
Specifically knowing.
yeah, it would have, though, that would have been very bad, like the one mother just getting over the fact that the Erathis sent a proxy instead of coming herself to join him. Just gotta get over to accept that. See the proxy for herself. If another god suddenly seemed to probably do something like that, that would have been just like, why do I even people?
That you're going in and
Yes.
like this particular is like you. This was a very it was a very
It was a
very
complicated choice, but I feel like for the Everlight and how much I feel like, something we talked about, I feel like she loves the mortals the most. And
Yeah, something like that. Which kind of sad when you consider like she's the one with the least followers. Like most of them were decimated by Asmodeus, thanks to him tricking her. Like her actions partly led to her mercy partly led to her loss of all her mortal followers. Something that also was brought up, and I didn't actually know this. Like Aiden, like the Dawnchild thing. Well, one of the things was a cleric. He wasn't playing as a cleric, even though he was the avatar of the God's Light. He was he was a cleric of samurai. He, like for the British version, she had at least had that being gave her at least one more follower, and I didn't know that. It was so freaking sweet. Like and which was interesting take us considering how the it's interesting that since he gave him an extra follower or two as a form of comfort in this, well, uh, effing Asmodeus came as well, who was portraying a priest of the Dawnfather, and not in a. It's like this was made in mockery. Like there's actually other reasons. As a matter of fact, this was even the primary reason, as they'll talk about later. But he did this to like just like sort of make a little slap in the face there. Like then they talk about how Brenda was getting nervous. Like he knew that there was a devil attack occurring at back of that Hawk's Hill and stuff. Like that's and a lot of people there. And like, wait a second, I have the notes about some of the timelines about Clarity. Pervon isn't supposed to die till later on. I'm like, how is he going to answer? So then he says like send the six out of the stones like yes, and he had this beautiful epic moment where after the thing shoots like coming in like a shooting star, basically destroys the head of like the lead devil, saving children. They find that and they realize what's going on. It kind of awakens their own divine powers. Like they become go full Devi combo, basically destroy or rout the devil what's there and you basically see the legends born. Like, and they point out that also what this means is Summer Alexandra. There more than likely still is the bloodline of the Everlight, and that could come into play later on. And another big thing that they talk about another tragedy here, like of of Cassina, and not only but she had to come to grips with the fact that the gods she thought were helping her and stuff are now seemingly working with the enemy now. The enemy she thought she'd help them face, and she's like, "Make screwed and stuff." Even if they didn't come and stuff, didn't know it, she'd still be dangerous. Like the Harps of AR already knew all about the Society of Primes, like who still worship there. And they thought the reason they're not dead yet, wasn't dead yet, because all of these are skilled individuals, and they thought, hey, no, and who have a dedicated reason to finish the project. It's like, all right, we use that dedicated, let them finish it, then we kill them afterward. The Society of Prime was doomed no matter what. The Prime deities never actually got a list of anyone else who was they couldn't just go searching them out afterward to try to spare them. This was always portrayed as a tragedy. And then they talk about the tragedy, like in which like she was the one in that final fight work on the side of AR who had seen the most of the because she had a connection with but when it came down to it, and she thought, oh no, she had this moment of panic choice, like not like clear thought and stuff, like no, they're going to basically steals the plans back and transfer to every area so that the project could still survive in group days. Like she thought she saved the day with that. Then she was, oh wait, no, they know I just did that. They're here to stop this mission. No. They technically don't have any reason to finish off the rest of the people here. I just gave them. Now they have to go after the rest of Aor, or I doomed the city. Many tragedies in this thing. And then they talk about an interesting fact about the prologue, which it has such a beautiful thing, but there's something that I don't think they actually said this enough, though it makes sense when you think about it. Like, you know,
It's explained by
Yeah.
who
Now,
these people are.
which is such a bummer that Bell's Hells doesn't get to see that.
They don't see that.
Is that
bit.
established?
That's established.
Yes.
Bell's Hells doesn't see the prologue. Bell's Hells doesn't see
Because that wasn't
what
recorded in the
happened
city.
after the fall of Aor.
Oh my
So they only see from the moment.
it'd be interesting to know how much of that was recorded, though. Like, was it once they left Aor, they cut off the connections off and just saw the destruction, not the conversation? Or was it? Did it still have a connection and recorded the conversation until the city crashed?
Only what was recorded in the city.
Because that gives
Spoiler.
so much. Oh, was it?
Did we spoil
It's
that?
okay. It's fine, but yeah.
Barely.
It's
That's
just
barely
it's a
spoiler.
little baby spoiler.
It's a baby spoiler.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So you don't see those
No.
sweet little infinite,
Nope.
No.
ephemeral, unconstrained,
No.
totally untouched by. Well, yeah, that was really important to me, and the idea too of like how are these beings a family, and it was sort of like the Lord of the Hells is just one of an infinite number of possibilities for what this proto being was, and also the torture and hellfire is the thing that is the
Oh, sorry, the prologue. Sorry, they don't see the prologue. Sorry, like they always reserve the parts while they're in AO stuff, so they don't the recording of of the Eternal Palace and stuff, that they don't know that. They only know maybe they start. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up. But maybe they saw what happened at Hawkstone and stuff,
how do I phrase
and
this?
some like the generous acts done, but
The idea of hellfire and hellfire are about as different as two things can be.
Did we get to?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
There's something on the teleprompter. It's time for a question from the tower. We're doing the tower a little differently in this special four-sided downfall. The tower has been temporarily replaced by Kerplunk. Each little marble has a number written on it, and we're gonna pull sticks until at least one marble falls out. Then we read the number on, see there's a little umbrella on the teleprompter and it keeps getting hit. Then when we read the number on the marble aloud, and Danny reads us the corresponding question. But if multiple marbles fall out, we pick one marble and leave the rest.
Got it. So do we all go up
I feel like
to
I
the
was
tower
reading
now?
it and had
one
no
at a
idea what I was
time.
just saying.
What? But okay.
Because at the end of the show, whoever made the most marbles fall or made the whole thing go kerplunk, they get the consequence.
What?
The consequence.
The consequence. They're
I just want to say you could still see a glimmer of Brennan's famous competitive side here. Like,
consequences
oh,
to our
oh shit, it's on now.
actions, Brennan.
Don't you know that?
Oh
I'm
shoot,
about to
it's on now.
sprint
All right.
out of this studio.
Brennan,
to pop
get
up
up there,
and-
be the
get up
first.
there and go get it.
Not
You're
here.
first.
Go
Get it.
number one. Number one.
What is going on?
So you gotta
See, this is
you
what
pull
I
a
do, though.
stick
Does
and
he
then give
pull
it a
one
quarter
stick?
turn.
I don't know
Okay.
how this
And then he
works.
gives it a turn,
I've
and
never
then
played
another
kerplunk.
person goes up.
Yeah, you pull a stick and then give it a quarter turn. That won't help you.
Wait, but how do you know?
Just
No,
pull-
it's
that's
okay.
what
I
we
pull
Whatever
one.
you
I
need-
pull a
whatever you
stick
need
and
to
then give
feel
it a
better.
turn.
We all
Well-
need to go up there because it's going to take more than one stick to get a marble to fall.
You pull a stick
will?
and then
Okay.
well, I'll show you.
Oh,
Keep pulling until one or more marbles drop.
Yeah, but do we each go up
Again.
there and we
Success.
each
Again.
pull?
Yep.
Yeah, so all of us
Okay,
have to go.
So
okay,
I
okay,
want-
okay.
But it's,
Oh,
All right. Well, you go next, Bulu.
Wait, I'm so confused.
yeah.
Brandon has to make one fall.
He's
Okay.
got to make a marble fall.
okay, we must make but a single marble.
Or a bunch of them. It doesn't matter. If a bunch fall, then
You have consequences.
then
Make a whole bunch fall, Brennan.
We're gonna count them up at the end to see.
Wow, this is hateful to watch.
Little motherfucker, I gotcha. Oh, one marble.
That is perfect.
Ew.
Don't come for me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm fucking ready.
How do we
Wait,
get
so
that
now you
little
have to
marble?
turn it?
Now you got to get that marble out so we
There
can
we
read
go.
that question.
All right, it is
Actually, maybe
number
easier if we just-
7, and Brennan is number 1. So now I'm gonna move this. Here, I'll control the twisting, so
Okay.
that it's one less thing you guys
Oh,
have
wait,
to
so
do.
that's
what
not
does that
on
me.
mean?
Worried
Nope,
about.
this one goes for Brennan.
He's
There
like,
we go. All right,
One
but
counts for me?
yes.
you could.
Y'all run a rigged game.
Oh, we know.
You could practically hear the subtextual kill in the comments.
Oh, we know.
Don't worry. If I do it again to anybody else, those marbles will be for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I'll mess up again. So this is from at indoor_Selkie on Instagram. Oh, I love Selkies. Can you talk more about your safety practices? What do you do to protect each other's mental health and emotions when the themes you're exploring in game are potentially triggering or potentially a nope topic for someone? How do you do this without spoilers for the players?
Apparently, the key to this is to talk about maybe not what happens, but the themes of it beforehand. Having a proactive conversation about what expectations and stuff, and having saying, okay, is there anything that I should avoid? There. They do mention though that something. Sometimes it's not avoidable. Like apparently, they mentioned how one of the first rules you learn in act class is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because if you can't, if you only have a limited amount of things you're willing to do, like rules, your types of rules you're playing and stuff, you won't get that very far in the industry. Oh, stuff. That's it. He said like one of the best things to do. Remember that for that is like it's just to remember life gives you bad moments. Use them. Of course, more to the conversation than this, but for that you have to watch the original. It'll be in the link in the description.
That's how I do it.
Bulu, pick some sticks.
On that horrid note.
On that sad note.
No one's ever gonna hit me with a pie.
Did we say that on camera or off camera?
We said
I can't
on
remember.
camera, I
Oh,
think.
thank God.
On camera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I believe in you.
I feel like you planned this, Brennan. Like you really looked at it and went, "Where's the marble gonna fall?"
Y'all wanted me to get up and go first, and now.
I know him too well. He definitely will.
Okay.
Give him the opportunity to cause drama.
Oh, the red.
Whoa.
Oh, your second red. Very interesting. You're opening with Grassini's Gambit.
Whoa! Anything. Ha 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 ha.
I'm a big fan of.
This is gonna be one.
This one's
is gonna
gonna
be
be
multiple
none.
ones. No, it's gonna do something.
There you are.
No, that's
There you are.
That's just one more than Brennan.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
well.
Pick one.
Wait for the turn.
Number 5.
Number
Number five.
Can I turn it so that I feel the responsibility?
Sure.
I agree
Okay.
with that.
Go put it
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
we're changing up the rules.
No.
We're literally.
Oh no, do you?
We're literally. Oh no!
Should we always let
Change
Dan?
it mid
I
game.
need you to understand.
No, absolutely.
When I say
There is again the subsexual. Get in the comments.
when I say things happen, Laura Bailey can do whatever the fuck she wants.
I'm fair. I'm gonna use
All of you
Danny.
are watching
Danny always
this.
does the
All
turn.
of you are watching this
Who's
at
the
home.
matron,
You
bitch?
are watching.
Who's the
This is
matron?
a circus. This is
I
a
changed
carnival.
the rules. All right.
There.
But also, I'm
Like I
looking
said,
at
Laura
the
Bailey
I'm looking at the
can do whatever she
teleprompter and it says have 2 to 3 people pull a block. Taliesin, you go ahead and I'll sit this one out.
Wait, we gotta answer this question first.
Sorry. That's right. There's a point to all this. I know
Could
how.
just play.
I like it. Yeah. That's great. You know, they still have to answer this one, right?
Other than masochism, there is in fact sadism. There's a.
Arden B would like to know, is there a non-magical item from your character's past that they still keep with them?
Like and keep on, they're keeping it to their downfall characters. So Ashley Scott wondering, okay, what do I do? Go and Brenda just looked at goes. He goes, Amaris's coat. Cody goes, oh, Amaris's coat. Like a, yep, that's her. That's her definitive item for this question. Taliesin didn't really have that much on him. Like it was very utilitarian. He will say that he was one that he like the art, or the one like the art. Well, in more did kind of construct a temple to themselves in some way, and is out there and stuff to get a little worship in while waiting. He will say like the clothing and staff were all given by a follower, so I guess those like would count. Not really sentiment, just more. For Laura, the matron, she has a stash left over from her first time as a mortal, which is hidden there. And then they kind of talk about something about her build, which is kind of interesting. Stop jumping a number.
Where you like you opened up the cement at the bottom and opened up the case.
Yeah.
Did we ever establish that you were your own warlock
Yeah,
patron?
we never. That was the other thing. We never explained like how the classes ended up working, like with the choice there.
We had a long conversation because it was like, do you come back as a wizard? You were a wizard
I can't.
before, and you literally were like, well, you were like, in her second life, the matron would want, her second mortal life, she would want to not work as hard as she worked in the first fucking life. And I was like, what, the idea that Amira, as a little baby, just has a contract from the goddess of death waiting and be like, it's the most favorable warlock contract of all time. It's like
I'm going to give myself.
You basically just created a trust of your arcane power, and you're like, the beneficiary of this trust is me.
Come on, take care of this kid.
Oh my god, she's granting herself spells.
So I kept mine on this like the least magic humanly possible. I just wanted to be nice and flat.
Unarmed
Where does
combat,
she store all her stuff?
Yeah, I'm not telling you.
Okay, fine. Go and pick some sticks.
Okay.
Secrets.
Hell yeah.
Here we go.
Pick your sticks.
I hate
See,
all of
we're
this.
screwed now towards the end.
Yeah.
Now I'm
clearly
realizing
you're
I should have picked way more sticks.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
That's the point of the game is that you're not supposed
I had a
to
big
pick.
stockpile of sticks, yeah.
But you started it. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
The whole thing is that
I mean, it
you
says
you
2 or
go
3 people,
until
so I'm not gonna pull.
until a marble drops, and it depends on how many drop.
Yeah. But someone's
You're
drop
gonna have to do
I'm gonna
it
have to
again.
pull
We're
it
gonna have
again.
a second. Oh shit! How many just
How
came
many?
out?
3?
Oh.
okay.
Seemed like so much more.
Yeah, didn't.
No, I got 3 dropped.
26.
26.
You are the host. You're running it. You don't have to ever.
I don't have consequences.
So this is fun,
That's not true.
particularly
waiting.
for downfall. If we're thinking current characters being downfall from dress, which NPC from a previous campaign would you want your current character to meet?
They're trying to figure out which specific character stuff. Though, since they're talking about their the leaders and stuff, some of them have already met and stuff. And specifically, and that it does point out that as a matron, she'll eventually meet all of them. Like even if they end up living on different gods of different gods, they have to go through her. They have to go to her to get to those places. So. She'll meet all their characters. For Towson, though, he would very much love the Wild Mother to be Kiki, and not just for the nature-based stuff, but all similarities. Like he just specifies that he doesn't want in campaign 1, Keyleth stuff. She wants like campaign 3 Keyleth, who's been through things like some of the guitar. Also, he points out an interesting factoid about Asha. The reason why he picked the name Asha is it derives from the name Ashari. And like, oh. And Ashley would ever like to meet Yasha because Yasha seems like the one who needs the most care and stuff. Like, oh, here's some hugs and like hot cocoa, like that and stuff. Like, let's talk about like, needs the most emotional support.
NPCs and PCs. You know what came to me? I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, there's so many different, like the characters that I've played. Like if you think about them as who are the characters that I've played more than once? So Pervon was in Calamity and in Downfall. Lord of the Hells was in Calamity and in Downfall. And people will know this because of the captions.
Oh yeah, this flow factor. Like, I didn't notice this in the captions. I didn't put it only when he mentioned it, like all the pieces clicked and it was like,
don't know it yet. Bolo was in Calamity and in Downfall.
Bolo's the greatest from Calamity.
Yeah, what I was thinking, like, I knew it. I knew she was a freaking emo on like Android things, like infiltrate and stuff like that. Like, no, apparently I was wrong.
The silver dragon was Bolo.
No.
Bolo was a dragon confirmed. Bolo was a dragon confirmed. Yes.
I'm so glad
There was a
Bolo got it
moment.
confirmed.
So that dragon had the my name Bolo. That silver dragon had that accent in the final battle, and also
When you meant Silver Dragon, I was like, wait, what was that? Like, the accent.
at the end was like, I had the moment that I think everyone else missed. She was like, I die and no one remembers my name, and then
Yeah. I remember I was thinking that, I was like, what's that about? It's like, now I know. Like, oh, you freaking troll.
because I was like, I thought someone would clock Bolo in an earlier, more fun part of the combat. It is not the time to bring Bolo energy. This is not, sometimes you're in a conversation and you're like, I missed my window to tell that anecdote.
Yep. All the time.
Every time I talk.
Yeah, I missed my window. So the idea of being there and the Everlight, like, my family, and someone being like, by the way, you guys don't have context, but actually I watched some crazy I've been at 2 flying cities crashing. That's crazy. Right? Waka waka.
Second time is apparently not the charm.
Buy a nickel for every time. Yeah.
Bolo. Who would Bolo want to meet?
Who would Bolo want to meet? Not the Dawnfather. Yikes. But you know what I actually thought about was across those different PCs. The thing that I think would be the most meaningful, the scene I would most want to see, would be an NPC that I played in Calamity. I think I would want to play Vespin Chloris meeting the Matron of Ravens.
Yeah, because here's a guy who was trying to do this, replicate what she did and failed at it. It's like, how did you do it? Like, I don't, and having that chat, like, I failed. I know. Yeah. And we actually found out he had somewhat good intentions in trying what he did, which just went horribly, horribly wrong. Oh, like, we found out that when he was doing it, he was talking about there was a reason why. Well, when we see him, he's under the command of Asmodeus stuff. His spell, such which will replace one of the gods that currently was him, was targeted as Asmodeus. Like, devils were coming upon him, and he's like, what if the person in charge of all of them was a bit friendlier? He had freaking good intentions. Like, he was trying to talk infernal assaults. Which was kind of sure, like, oh yeah, and talk a little bit about how they make Pervon, like, since they're talking about past characters.
If not that, Pervon meeting Vox Machina and being like, I want to tell you all the people that are named Pervon in my family. It's a very common name. It's an extremely common
Foot Pervon.
Pervon, yeah. Uncle Pervon, my cousin Pervon, Pervon the second.
Yeah.
Bailey,
That's it. Yeah.
What?
how about you?
Yeah.
How about me? What?
Who would you like to meet?
Oh well, who would I like to meet?
As the matron.
As the-
As
as
the
the
matron.
matron.
Early, not at the end,
Yeah.
obviously. Preview.
Lewdness.
Ooh.
That's
Good one.
juicy.
That's
That's a
sexy.
good answer.
The one who's trying to bring on gods, and the mortal who became a god.
Wow.
That's really juicy.
Damn.
Maybe we can make that happen.
Maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah. Good bet Bells Hells is going to try and make that happen.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
All right. Thank you, Indoor Selkie, Arden B, and
Now we get into the deep dive.
right. Should have brought my glasses. What do you think of the theory that lewdness is?
Oh, they're talking about this when they said, like, this kid's out of the wall, like, they mentioned before, like, she did saying, like, she, like, when how the matron spared Hallis, like, the son of Cassida, and sent him out of the world and stuff. At the time he they said, like, oh wait, at that point the wizards of AR all were given all the knowledge about the Factorum Malleus, and I'm thinking, like, does that mean House has it in some capacity? And I personally, I doubt it, because she said the wizards of that. We don't know if he had any training at all and stuff, or if he kind of did. But it did make me think of this theory.
Hallis.
I didn't think of potentially this theory. I didn't I heard before, but it came to me when I
There's the third.
All right. Should have brought my
just.
glasses.
I'll stop talking now.
What do you think of the theory that lewdness is Hallis?
There's the theory.
There's a theory?
There's
I
a
thought
I didn't
that.
know that.
I thought that. I feel like
Nah.
Yeah, nah.
That would be so appropriate. I guess
It's-
it could be.
I mean, it could.
Was they ever identified as being elvish?
But
Maybe.
that was a fluke. I just felt like saving Hallis. I wanted for the matron to show that spark that she gave to Vax. I wanted that moment of her being like feeling merciful. And that's why I took
Not your
him.
time.
In my heart, I hope it's not true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They do point out that that timeline-wise, we already know Vesper's going to come out and stuff. The fact that House survives place was always up in the air, but Lunas was always going to be. So it's more likely that they are separate individuals. It'd be very interesting and quite a bit of a sun face. There. Then we get to Ashley's description. What was it like playing the Everlight, working with the Lord of the Hells, and like rough, like stuff like. She played it like the character still loves him despite all the atrocities, including personal ones to her. And they mentioned how they did the check on Arcadia, and how, like, if they had succeeded on that check, they may have found out the planet realm, which confused me, and apparently also confused. That's also confused Danny too. That's actually perfect.
him and handed her to the soul.
So wait, Danny and I were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
So he was doing the illusion from the get-go.
From the get-go.
That's what I thought too.
See, I got confused.
thought
I
that
swear I
too.
thought you and I had a conversation where you said that he switched in the hospital, but
No.
okay, that was a lore keeper got confused moment.
Don't.
I think.
All good. There was I specifically
A lot
remember.
of info to keep in your mind
Yeah,
throat.
right?
Yeah, my mind throat is full of information.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
About mind throat.
So gross.
You wrote it. It was in your prompter, so now we're doing it. It's mind throat o'clock.
Ow.
Oh.
Answer a question. Stop talking about it.
Sometime with a mind throat.
Yeah, I will say this though. I also heard that too. I remember it being said while the betrayal was being revealed, like when he revealed like that. I remember it just saying like ever since in the hospital, like switching to the hospital. I remember him saying that. I think he's the one confused. Yeah, like hey, yeah. Oh, hey. Because too. So now canonically, I think it was from the get go. He got there as immediately. How can I mess with them? I know, but I think he did say make a accidentally say in campaign that the switch was in the hospital. Now it makes all no. Granted, I still say that it was. He said that. I do think it was before that, like from the get go and stuff. So if only because it's the only reason to explain how how that Solar got in the first place, like, and why they were so surprised. Like, of course, I'm surprised. Like, they see one of their own trapped there. Apparently, is actually a mortal god, but for that to happen, they never had. He would never have had a chance to pass it off before her hand. So, well, technically, could it was a loser, but it makes more sense time on. But he did absolutely say it was in it while they were playing.
Not a question.
What was the main philosophy you wanted to imbue your god with? How do you think Nick, Abu, and Nashir would answer?
Abu, in his magnificent performance, playing this like the sneaky good god, was like I'd like to describe it as hedonistic and but very philosophical. Nashar playing this the proximate was created specifically for this as like love of law above all and stuff. They talk. Oh, they that's their stuff. We get to a lore question, or I think this was a lore question, like where it talks about the Matrix relationship with the rest of Prime as a, which at least when he first got there, like she kind of uh, 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 they were kind of getting closer. She loved the Everlight, who was the most inviting of all of them. Well, this is them, but it's not gonna. But of course, forgives her and wants to make it private. And well, took time. The only one who was really open to her was who was actually more impressed she did it was going 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 on. The Archard was like, look what you did with the gift. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, so that, but like patronizing tone, like, it's like, which got her all about like, you asshole. Like, This is my compliment, not no. Don't treat me as some kid. So the archer was welcoming her, but she was not very fond of him. Everyone else took time and she also had a respect for Palor. No, seriously, no, sorry. She had a resent for Palor because of his higher up, holier than thou approach. But as Calamity as the events of AR happened, and so she had a gain more of respect for him, and vice versa. Then we talk about Asha's thoughts on the emissary. When it gets to Talzin's turn. At first, like he is playing it as being insulted and angry, like how dare she betray us? Like she betrayed us. Like she's supposed to be here herself now, not just since this child. It wasn't that it really wasn't angry with the emissary himself, but it was just a target because it is him here, not her. Yeah, they talk more about how the Shard crushed that role, like playing like this gruff character because of like simple words. So something that's so like immense power and such, yet still childlike. Perfect.
Thought about it like this the scene on the train was he was like that was the only contact with what was essentially his mother that he ever had, and I'm like, oh, that's so dark. Oh, I don't like that at all. That's really, now I feel like a bad person.
I gave him a hug when the game was over, and I was like, "You're so amazing." And he had like this sadness about the emissary, and said that in that moment at the end when I got to speak to him as the matron, like guiding him on, like that he never got to meet his mom, like that all he wanted was to be with his mother.
The law bearer to be with. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
He called her mother.
It was rough.
Devastating. I was like, oh God, I wish I could have given you that moment.
Also, just to talk about Nashir just for a second longer, I don't know if it came up exactly in the game itself, but his idea was that the lawbearer specifically made the emissary of ice and stone because it felt like having a child with nature, with the wild bear, with the wild mother. Wild bear. Is that their ship name?
Well, it's also
I've just come up with
it's funny because ice.
And I was like, yeah, that would certainly been interesting knowledge for Asha to get like this person she's getting started. It's supposed to be a representation of hers and her partner's children.
Is a property of the natural world, which creates crystals that are like perfect. The order meeting nature. It's very it's romantic.
Later. Yeah.
Nashir.
Yep.
So wonderful.
So the emissary, that was everything. Well, speaking of all the wonderful casts that we had, how is it working so closely with Nick Marini as Tristan Aiden? So the emissary, that was everything.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of all the wonderful casts that we had, how is it working so closely with
Next, as Tristan Aiden, there's another time slot here, so.
You telling me Nick Marini's been making my life a living?
He's a You kind of found it kind of made himself.
Living hell for 14
Yeah.
years. This man understands game design and building busted characters in a way.
Jeez Louise.
Was it a triple? It was
Yeah.
it was a triple
four.
triple. It was a quadruple.
Quadruple multi-class.
To the point where in the player's handbook, he can tell you the page
Yeah.
to go to find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think it's fucked
Found
up.
him
That's-
gilding the lily a bit, perhaps.
he is so fucking talented. It's very Nick is so talking about like actual play and performance. I've been playing D&D with Nick since we were kids, since we were like forever and ever and ever, and he's an incredible actor and he's on Cobra Kai and has done all this amazing stuff. But I always remember in terms of his performances, I think is the first person to make me cry in a game of D&D. He played a scene where in our home game they went to the underworld, and there had been a battle in terms of the marriage of mechanics and story, because Nick is the ultimate mechanical master and the ultimate storyteller. That there was a moment where he needed a nat 20 to save a friend and rolled a 19, and there was a death. It was a full PC death, and they went to the underworld and found the spirit, and we had the player playing their old PC again, and Nick had this moment on this bridge over the chasm of death where he just was weeping and just going like, I'm so sorry I couldn't save you. And you could feel the weight of that 19. You could feel the weight of being one away from what I needed to save you.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Nick is, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Fantastic. I can't wait to play with him again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait to play with him again.
he's so good. Here we go. For Brennan, that's me. What was your
Okay.
preparation process like for Downfall? How did it differ from Calamity?
Yeah, there's kind of different things, but it's more of like it's how like so similar but inverted, like yet inverse. It's like mirrors. It's the two mirror each other so well, like the different takes, despite being essentially the end of these great flying mage cities, like how different they are. All right, but in like specific like what first thing off the list, in this one, Laura played a character suggested to her by Marisha. In the first one, Marisha played a character suggested by Laura. But more to the point than that, in the first one, the main characters were it was a majority, and there was a lot of corruption in it, like different higher ranks and stuff. They were the ring rats. It was on the lower rings, but it's still like they were still like higher ups in the city. So and they had their corruption. So it was like, it was the villains basically having the heroic moment at the end. The Cyber decide to save the people of the city, try to save this, give up themselves. It's like they're almost a redemption and the sacrifice themselves that way. Well, in this one, it was like the heroic prime deity stuff. We're having to set aside their could not more with the heirs to perform this ultimately tragic act. Like it was the heroes having their villain moment. And for him, it's like one was a fight. The first, like during the fight for Goliath, they knew that both were tragedies, but since they were and both these cities have to fall according to the lore. The first one was made by was one where they were playing as the defenders of the city. So it was like preparing a fight that they know that the heroes are going to lose. Versus the other one where it said you're playing as the person that's trying to destroy the city, so you know they're going to win. Like what was one like? Despite they have the odds against them at the beginning first, they like those the destroying the wards and stuff like gradually would allow them to succeed. He never intended them to go down one by one, and they just have to last long enough to be there. Like some of them would probably go down and stuff. He wasn't expecting like the three most powerful ones to just go, and then suddenly this fight is basically over. And more to the point of this thing, like they know the outcomes and stuff. Well, they sacrifice kind of lose the city, but they do it by enough time for some people of Avalier to escape stuff. So it is defeat, but it's hope in defeat. Like some people go by what was Travis' character? His character survives and goes through with his character who also escapes. Yeah. In this one, it's like the horror in victory. Like, yeah, you won, but look at look what you did to win. Horror and triumph. Then we move on to a lore question. What was exactly Emira's relationship with Pervon, like stuff? It kind of as like an Obi-Wan Luke thing. Like the guy has been here all the time as mentor figure and stuff, and for Destiny stuff. Like it was like he basically came and bought her off her parents as with enough money to make a cover for some lives, so she could train her to fulfill her duty. Okay, so it's like a long plan, definitely like an Obi-Wan game. It also kind of becoming a father figure on Sony.
That's gone, and that there's like also the idea of showing up to whoever Amira's mortal parents were and being like, hello, I'm here with a contract written by a goddess, and I'm here with a number of artifacts and a number of like
Giant wolf.
and
Amira very much the trust fund
the
baby.
giant fucking wolf.
Here's a large sum of money.
Here's a large sum of
We
money.
need you to live well until.
Yeah.
There was some murder, but I don't know where yeah, no. might have misplaced.
Yeah, real Obi-Wan Kenobi shit.
Yeah, actually, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do another speed round.
Speed round. The first thing was like Talzin. Like, how would the Wild Mother, after all is done, describe the emissary? Like, her last words in the camp were, "Let me tell you about your son." Basically, yeah, but talking to Irathis. And it's like, which is kind of like something a nice thing you want to know, but Talzin himself had no idea how to answer at the time. Let's say at the time, he's just like, this one, but ultimately he came up with a description of just and kind to the point that we did not deserve. Okay, what was the easiest and hardest part about playing the Tristan ever? Like, basically, showing the love and care for the character, because she's played like half of the players are like two of these she's been playing are part main characters, so she's good friends with and played in here. And she's played with more time, so she has general affection for everyone there. The hardest thing, any decision made. I could see that. Then 225.
was having to make any decision. Because they all were terrible.
And this is I have a brutal one here. I'll do these are my last two. Did Cassida truly renounce the Everlight in her final moments, or was that?
Oh, I don't know if I want to know. Probably.
Was it true?
Probably.
Should I say?
Do you know?
I mean,
I know.
I mean,
You do?
I know the truth of whether it was a
Oh man, I don't know if
whether
I
it
can
was
hear
a
this.
lie.
You can cover your ears if you
No,
want.
I can't.
Earmuffs.
I should know.
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know too.
She did, right?
Did Cassida truly renounce the Everlight in her final moments, or was that another lie?
He's dragging us out.
Cassida did not truly renounce the Everlight.
Yeah, and for us, a good thing, like, they're like, oh yeah, this stuff. Then the other side should falls.
In her final moments.
Worse.
She did it before then.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. I knew.
We know.
We know.
We know. It was the because that's the whole thing, right? Is it's all about perspective. There was so much of this, which
They talk, they talk more about this and how this was kind of trying to, like, we have, well, the producers they're also trying to go, and they kind of have to portray the thing, like, this is not like a story of good and evil. This is a story of like moral balance, of like and moral questions. Like, yes, they're on one hand we have the gods trying to protect themselves from being destroyed forever. Stuff. That's this main and stuff. But on the other hand, they've been ravaged stuff, and AR kind of feels defensive. On the other hand, it's a majority which is highly oppressive to a lot of its people. Like, if it's not like a higher up stuff, they are based on stuff and stuff. They were leaving like that was the last ship to Aor at the end, and there were a lot of people hoping to get in were being just left there. And the fire thing was working stuff like unlike this. They didn't care stuff like they threw like all gnomes off ramps and like god worshippers off ships and execute them and stuff. On the other hand, this is just like the rulings of the upper class. Like some of the lower ones don't have that. We know that there's the silent primes, and then who are good and trying to help out the gods with this project, and then the ones who aren't with the god stuff but aren't truly evil and stuff. Like a lot of those people in the speakeasy were just trying to live their lives. It was not about good. It was just about choices. And like for a lot of them, it's like losing naivety or stuff, or like having your beliefs change. One thing was noticed, like how like the gods themselves, like as portrayed at the beginning in the prologue, are refugees from a world, a different realm, which was destroyed. And here comes the big question: could they just leave? Not just like go hide behind a garden, no, like go start a new leave morals there stuff. That is a big question. Yes, and like something like there was life before, and there could be life after. Though I think they keep forgetting the vision. They all at this point have forgotten the vision of the tree of entropy. That then clearly just shows destruction happening should the gods be forced to flee because of it. So the gods weren't necessary for the creation, but I think to maintain life as it is now, it is. And it annoys me the fact that they have not brought this the fact up to Luminous. Like, you said there's good stuff. You're trying to help them out. we've seen from a neutral party what the effects of ridding us of the gods would do. Oh, and then we also learn a bit more stuff. Like, you know how we were talking about? Go back briefly to how they all got more information about the gods they're playing as to there. Laura Bailey got a lot. Is not. They asked. Well, here's a question I was asked: is Laura Bailey now the keeper of forbidden knowledge? Like, she now the part among the players is the one who knows the most about her now because of this stuff. And what exactly does she know? She knows about. Laura now knows about how the session played out. Like, maybe not the best means used, but also knows about her mortal life. They want to explain more about how like the Victoria gods are like they're not the like the ones like ooh the complicated stuff. No, they're the uncomplicated ones. They're the unburdened by mortals. Like it's just what benefits them at the time. They also talk more about like Asmosius's choice to well, they talk about how the Victorians have purple. They have like ones like Striker and the Ruiner who caused mass destruction when they call themselves like the chaotic ones, like destruction and stuff. Then they have the lawful evil like Rasmodius who's like, you know what? We are allowed to patrols. How can I do the most damage here? And that's and above get irking off the Dawnfather. His reason for choosing a priest of Palor was this is the voice of reason. This is the voice the people depend that of someone who could come out and say, I know the answers. I can know how to get through. Like the dependable was like always the favorite stuff. Like and using that as opposed to mislead and turn people away. That's what he thought did the most damage. Right, they talk about how like the most favorite depiction of a devil was I think this was thousands was called Demon Knight from like the Tales from Beyond the Crypt. Never seen it though, so can't really judge. They also talk more about the relationship with between the Archheart and the Spire Queen. Like I mentioned this before in like uh, during the Downfall recaps, but though I must specify this bit is lore I know of from traditional D&D. It may not be the same as in Exandrian in cosmology, but they in traditional D&D, these two are X's. It kind of like they kind of it basically makes some jabs and everything. Then there's that one card thing like this is your fault. Then we talk about Zaharsht, who was the avatar of Torah, the Pawn King, the Lord of Tortures. He had all these like hooks in it and stuff, and I talk about this like I'm not the only one who was hooks in them. Them it basically that what he doesn't know. We don't, but Brennan explains he's kind of hinting at the fact that he knows of Trista's mortal family. Also, originally, well, the Ruiner. Brandon says the Ruiner was not supposed to have a sense of humor, like kind of so stuff. But then he realized that something about comedy, like all the funniest things are ones that ruin the atmosphere, like trying to change it. Like this, you had the summer things, and suddenly So like punchline and like basically, eh, basically. The comedy, like Ben's comedy, was like something that gave with them like stuff like, "I can't believe you have more followers than me," stuff like that. Then they're talking about like surprises and like then we see the art chart. For instance, the art chart at the end while Holly Selena's out there. When the Cellwind came and is about to take him, and it's like he's been the one most okay with it, with destroying, and the one who's looking most favorably on AO, like the beauty is what they have achieved. In how the surprise when it came to it, he's the one who ended up directing it, the spelling wave to the rest of AOR, causing all the broomstones up. He's the one who delivered the final nail onto AOR. Like this, he destroyed their means of staying in the air.
He's like, oh, I know what that is. Oh no.
You all watching, I just loved the three of you at the table watching Cognosa vanish and being,
Oh no. Don't do that.
But yeah, I was like, oh no, oh god, like.
Oh, don't do that. That's bad.
You guys are
Oh,
dumb. You're gonna be
That was a cool
eyeballs.
moment.
yeah.
That
Not a bit of tragedy.
was a cool moment.
Yeah. Whoa, we made a mistake there. Oh no.
Yeah.
God.
All right. Well,
For plunkies? Or
Well,
are
no,
we done?
I think we're stopping because we talk too much, right?
Oh.
It's my
I'm not
fault.
the one controlling
This is
the
my-
prompter.
Read,
Say
read,
again?
read, read the prompter.
Just read it? Okay. You're like,
good.
please stop. That's it for the deep dive. Which means we're almost done with this very special four-sided downfall. But before we go, it's time for one more round of questions from the tower. Okay, I'm gonna go since I didn't do it.
We who are about to die.
I'm doing it,
salute you
Peter. Okay.
Doing it, Peter.
I got
I love that.
Oh, got a twisty
so
scissor.
much.
Oh, I see, because the balls come out
So bad. Give me that.
in their own area.
That
I
plate.
know. It's like,
You have two extras.
we can make it.
Oh, edible Play-Doh is very doable.
Get some food, die, and some.
Their own area. I'm doing
salute
it, Peter.
So I forgot.
Doing it, Peter.
I love that.
Oh, got a twisty
So
scissor.
much.
Oh, I see, because the balls come out
So bad. Give me that.
in
plate.
their own area.
That
I
plate.
know. It's like,
You have two extras.
we can make it.
Oh, edible Play-Doh is very doable.
Get some food, die, and some whipped cream.
Should
What
we do
happened?
that? I feel like we should have played it for our kids and create the whole piece.
That would be so.
Soundtrack just came out on vinyl. By the way.
Shit. Okay.
After Crow.
Okay.
Two more, and they're all gonna come down.
And a little.
Jericho.
Hey.
Only one?
So she's got three in there. It was
I got three.
There's like a-
17.
17.
Let us see here. From Taryn,
Really?
if you could have any power/ability that your character has, which one would it be?
I'm talking specific.
This is their characters. They specify this is their characters, but as mortal avatars, not they're not talking about what happens after the wars get are destroyed. Actually, it's the heel. Thousand, he's not quite sure because his character didn't have memorized, but he does decide on they at discussion they think perhaps parkour. Excuse me. Laura likes the invisibility, like she messes with people so much. Then like I forget the actual name of the Aormaton bartender at this at Silaha's speakeasy. The artist so the artist something having multiple arms.
Seriously, what is the costume production process for a live show? Take us from inception to when it's dawned. Dying to know what the collaboration is like and how things are found. From Jess C.
That's a great
This
question.
is something I'd like to, this.
Yeah, they talk all those things, but mainly what it comes down to is someone named Jenny Newman. One of the things is important to notice is what is the theme they're all going under. Like last one, it was like play something that evokes image of their characters. Same thing with for the My Nine live show. It was British rock.
Your makeup was great.
It was great.
Yeah, your eyes popped.
I walked out and right on my way to the stage, I think I saw Danny at the last minute, and I leaned in and I went, "I'm cosplaying as a camera," and
My response was, everyone's gonna get that.
yeah, everyone's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Dre truly did. Came down and Dre was like, "Okay, we're gonna do like a look for you. What are you playing?" And I was like, "I'm sort of playing a magic recording."
She's like, okay.
And it was like, being the kid at the birthday party who's like, "I want to be a beetle."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I
How to do that?
I can kind of do cats and puppies."
I want to be Christmas. Yeah. I'm like,
I just
Get
figure
it.
we all have to do it again in order to make this consequence even.
all right,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
fine.
Yep.
It's lined up. Am I good?
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, no,
It's gonna be
no.
me,
Oh,
isn't it? It's just
come on,
gonna
knock
be
another one
fucking
down for
me.
Brennan. Knock another one. Shit.
Sorry, Queen.
Nice.
Oh, fuck. Oh no, Brennan, there's no way you're gonna lose this because I don't see how there's another way.
I feel like, I mean,
They're all gonna fall. Why did I come up here?
I don't think I need to go
plug
again.
is
'cause again, it
rigged.
says two
Her
different.
plug
Yeah.
is rigged.
I think you got it.
I think
Laura,
there's
you got
only
it.
one, like, oh, fuck.
You have to keep pulling. You have to keep pulling. Blame Kyle.
Pain is a moment.
This is bad. This is
Pain
bad.
is just a moment.
Oh no.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
That's not
That
bad.
could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
I'll be fucked.
That can't be right. 31?
31.
I'm fucked.
Nice and Jer. Your character won a blue ribbon at the local fair. What for?
Thousand Wildmother being produce, of course. So. Laura, she has no idea. She says rhubarb pie. No idea what the mission will get. Maybe there's a falconry thing there at the out there. I don't know. That's what.
Oh, I love
Don't even fuck
Yeah.
around with a rhubarb
Boy,
pie
oh
right
boy,
now.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the table setting competitions that we do at the state fair in LA?
So great.
Oh man, Danny knows.
Oh, yes. I not only know, but I actually played a character in 8th grade in the musical Dear Edwina, who was the fairy fork mother and was
In modern times, that's an unfortunate name.
magically assisting a girl with her table setting competition.
We gotta go back to we gotta go back to the
Whoa.
state
That
fair.
is
It's been
highly
way too
specific.
fucking long.
Yep.
Our
Yes, we
world,
did.
God damn.
Our world has
Miss
so
the
many
state fair
beautiful
so much.
secrets.
God damn, you are the best like
So
state
many-
fair partner.
There's
So
so
many
many
levels.
wrinkles.
We're in. Okay, it's happening. It's fucking
All
happening.
of Taliesin and I's pictures are from the state fair.
Yeah, we go and like we do a savage burn at the state fair.
I know. Wait, we would have the same one because you would win for Gilly Best in Show.
Yes, for sure.
There you
That's
go.
a good one.
There you go.
Gilly.
Best in Show.
Get up there and pull. Oh, wait, you were the
you
last
go
one,
pull.
so you gotta go next.
I thought did you
No,
do
you're
your
right.
ribbon? Okay.
Nice.
you.
Yeah. Likely fucking story.
likely fucking story, bro.
I appreciate you tried.
You can do it, Tal.
Oh wait, I still gotta turn. I gotta turn.
Take them all out.
Knock another one down. Daddy.
I'm trying.
Shit. This is Transylvania.
I bet. There.
Frankenstein.
Look, I live to serve Laura Bailey and Laura Bailey alone.
I don't know why I feel like I'm going to be dealing with the
I
consequences.
only had to pull one. I have options.
know it's
But
gonna be
the fact that I have to
I
get one
here's
to
the thing.
drop.
I felt really confident when Laura was going. Now I feel way less good than I felt. It's like I'm looking at Taliesin pulling, and I'm like, "Ooh, this could be really bad for me."
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Uh-oh, I think I'm in the...
It's gonna be me.
Number one with a bullet.
Number one.
Good job, Tal. That was
Got it. Here we go.
This makes my hip
This will
pop
be an
sweaty.
interesting one specifically for downfall. Downshot? Wow. Cole Pratt _ on Instagram. Dungeons & Dragons is a game full of tough decisions that have crafted a beautiful story across 3 campaigns. If you could have a what-if one-shot or miniseries and change a decision your character made in the past, what would it be?
Oh man.
Ashley has a very interesting one. Pike doesn't crap on the bed. Like back in like the first streamed arc, like quest, like when they were in the Underdark, in the fortress, she takes a shit with him. Good. I don't know because because I temporarily lost my connection to that. Oh yeah, because and then like the rest of it wasn't. I think that was more to do with the fact that you use your mace to slit the throat of an unarmed prisoner. Yeah. Oh right. Yeah, like. Carlton had a very interesting one, and this would have been such a big thing on. Towson would have had Molly Muck survive, and that was so big, like that shit so much. For instance, that now the Tomb Terrors will be trying to get to have oh, what the frick is it? Lucian or what was it? This there was
Did
Everything.
so much. Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Jester
Yeah.
would have had to keep healing. Maybe it's good that Molly died.
Oh man.
That delivery was so fucking mean. Holy shit.
yeah. This was a long one.
Oh god.
I'd probably go, ooh, there's so many things. What would happen if Imogen had, like, given in to Predathos
Oh, that's
in
young.
those moments
The
when
night
she
is
was, like, falling deeper and deeper?
Night is fucking young.
Could still happen.
That's interesting. Is I had one that I thought about for you a lot, which was Fenthras. Was what if you just said yes?
Oh.
Oh, well, yeah.
That would've been weird.
I lost sleep over that one for sure. I was like, I made the wrong choice. I made the wrong choice.
Clearly not.
I made the right choice.
But you
But
know,
at the time, I was sure I made the wrong choice.
I don't know why we're looking at you for this one, but
I'd be lying if I didn't say
Oh
that in
no.
private moments
Oh, yeah.
to himself, the Lord of the Hells,
And we're all excited, like, oh god, there's an actual regret for the Lord of the Hells. Like, it could be like actually.
did not think to himself, just stay with Avalier until it fully connects to the ground and the primordials are released.
Of course, it's like tactical.
I know that you're worried that the Ruiner is going to get to Vasselheim before you and kick a bunch of ass without you before you get there. Don't delegate this task. Follow through. Stay with the city. Make sure the prophecy happens. I think he probably is. He's just like, come on, man.
This doesn't strike me as a good delegator, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he got slap happy. I think he was like, we're doing it, baby. We got out in the world.
So you're saying he really took a poop on Avalier's bed?
I think so. I think somewhere Pike is going, I shouldn't have shit on that bed, and somewhere Lord of the Hells is going, I shouldn't have shit the bed. Let me tell you, that was a mistake.
You got this,
There it is.
Ashley.
I got this.
I'm so
Actually, you
sorry.
don't got this, because if you don't got it, that means
Well, I feel like
who's got the most marbles?
I don't know. This one I'm gonna have to have.
like
Are
we've
we
hit
going
the-
until all of the marbles are gone? Are
Or
down?
are we calling it now?
Oh.
Let's call it now. You don't have to
Wait,
pull.
wait, did
Are
you
we
already
calling
twist
it
it?
after
no, you've
Ashley?
already-
Oh yeah, did you twist it?
No, Ashley's got to go again.
That's right.
Ashley's
You got a
gonna
second
go
one. That's
first.
right. You have
Why?
one more because
you
you only went
gotta
once.
I went first. This is the last poll.
This is the last.
Danny?
poll.
Everyone will have gone an even number of times.
That's right.
And
The falls
every
right now
single
is mine.
Danny! Danny! Danny Carr! Danielle
Danny Elizabeth
Carr!
sabotage.
They're all just gonna fall out.
Mon Dieu.
I mean, what am
Sacre
I
bleu.
trying to
Sacre
even...
bleu.
Did you already?
Saboteur.
Did she lose yet? If you get one out, do you lose?
No, Ashley, you're gonna nail it.
I think I've... No, I
You're gonna
think
pull
I've
one?
lost already.
You're
You
gonna
want
pull one,
advice?
and those
'Cause I
marbles
can
are gonna
give you
shoot
advice.
back up.
No, I don't want advice.
Okay. It would be bad advice anyway.
Advice.
That's a dumb...
You got
Don't
it.
This
pull
is all
that
dumb.
one.
I
Every
already-
one of them will work.
They're coming out. They're all coming out. They're all not coming out. They're all... One's coming out. Two's coming out. Three's coming out. They're all coming out.
Wait, not all of them.
There you go.
All right, so Ashley lost.
What's the consequence?
I don't want...
Consequence Latin with sequence.
Okay. Read this aloud. Okay, sorry. Whoever made the tower go kerplunk the most in episode 26 of Four-Sided Dive must create an in-canon backstory for Bolo.
He already did that. It's like, just imagine Brendan lost. Like, hey, he's so pissed off. He goes, oh, what's the consequence? For Bolo? I already did that. Like, it's
That
just-
includes if how she escaped Avalier, if she was present for Downfall, if she ever got the drinks.
Well, we kind of know some of that now.
Weirdly,
already.
we kind of did.
We kind of do.
Gotta
We don't.
extrapolate on
We
it.
don't know. We don't know how she escaped Avalier.
Okay.
And we don't know if she got the drinks.
She did get the drinks for sure.
She got them
For
Awesome.
sure, that was like mission
Every time,
numero
every
uno.
time.
I think she escaped. She escaped.
oh, and it's like watching this, like, oh, come on, Ashley, you're seriously spending so much time. Think of what what her presence in Downfall is. It's so obvious.
By. I don't. This is.
Really? How is this? Oh, yeah, she's waiting for her.
Too much pressure to have this be canon.
Got it.
She is
You know.
a dragon.
You know. You know.
Thank you.
She flew.
Yay, Ashley!
Yeah. The
She
real.
reached out
the
and went,
real.
wait a minute.
These consequences
Wait a
were
minute.
not that bad.
I'm a fucking dragon.
I'm a.
Wait, and then
Oh,
she
this is
drinks,
going
I'm gonna
real
go.
bad.
More?
wait, but if she was present for Downfall,
Which she was.
if she goes drink, yeah. So
I just realized something.
she flew away. She was present for Downfall, and she definitely got the drinks.
Yeah.
I just realized something. She never chose the last tower question. She just just decided to that. No, they still technically were supposed to do one. Well.
And
We
I
all
think-
got our drink.
And listen, I think that she had a loyalty, even though as a dragon, she had a draconic loyalty to the city of Aor.
She did.
And I think that she was genuinely infiltrating the city of Avalier through a honeypot with loquacious
Oh
Sealy.
God, there's one last.
Yeah.
To be a reporter.
She really wanted
did.
to be the
She really
reporter.
did.
And the question remains: it's not established if loquacious Sealy, if Sam's character in Calamity actually ever, because he had been seeing Bolo for a little while. So if they actually did smash, then he was the bard who had sex with a dragon.
They smashed.
They smashed.
They're the biggest D&D meme finally fallen into fruition here.
For sure, you think so?
Clearly.
Yeah.
What if she's pregnant before she flew away?
Then a half fairy, but there's 100 years.
Then
in
she shouldn't have gotten the
She could have hatched an egg that is half
Do dragons lay more than one egg at a time? Because if so, there could be.
fairy, half dragon, all awesome, somewhere in the Calamity.
I just imagine there's now this chameleon dragon out somewhere out there because he's a specifically changeling.
That's in canon now.
And that half fairy,
And that's
half
canon?
dragon is Danny Carr.
My mother was a dragon. My father was a reporter.
My mother was a dragon. My father was a.
Cool, as they say, cool.
Well, hey, thank you, Taryn, Just C, Nice and.
And to that we come to the end. Almost to the end, like I should say.
Time to celebrate, it's a party, hit the lights, here we go. Waste the night away with a little escape, it's a chance to lose control. So let's just leave this world behind. Everybody come on, take a dive. One by one we roll the dice, come on. Let's go, critical role. For another round, your friends are here to cheer you on.
I guess we'll.
Rolling back, it's good times all night long. Critical role, no way to lose when you're having this much fun. It's your turn. No way to lose when you're having
This much fun.
I couldn't have been happier. If it makes you feel better.
My mother was a dragon. My father was a reporter.
Might as well. Might as well. Anyway, with that, I only have one more thing to recap. My homebrewing and tonight's will be something I've had, maybe not filled out for a while, but I recently filled out. But I had this idea for a while, and added it. It's a magic item called Incendiary Incense. This is an item that is consumed, don't use. Like, it is very rare, as you'll see by its properties. This sacred compound, when satellite, burns with a white flame for 1 minute per pound utilized. The fumes, the actual incense, like aerosol, purifies a 20-foot radius, causing all poison and acquired damage to be halved. And all saving throws made by non-fiendish or undead creatures are to resist or remove any all conditions. Gotta go back in. I forgot to add the Buddha. They're rated advantage. Also, you add 1d4 whenever a creature regains hit points or is healed. It gains an additional 1d4 HP. In addition, sorry, I forgot that. Sorry for the wrong. When the white flames illuminate an area the flames illuminate an area of that same radius in it with uh, with bright light and illuminate a further 20 feet in dim light. All fiends and undead that end their turn in this area of bright light take 1d12 of radiant damage and must make a con save against the damage. Fail save, the creature ignites in the same white flames, and taking another 1d4 in fire damage. What the? Oh. Potential spam. Well, it's a excuse me. It takes a number. It doesn't take a. It takes a number of d4s, not 1d4. Or fire damage equal to their basically the equals the takes a number of d4s and fire damage equal to the DC minus the saving throw divided by 2, rounded down, but with a minimum of 1. As I said, these are the same with flames, so they also illuminate whatever creature that the illumination extends a further 20 feet from radius from them. They do not. It does not affect creatures already affected. Yeah, I really need to go back and re-edit this. But it can expand the radius. Therefore, a lot of bad saves against lower level planes could decimate whole. One use of this could decimate a horde of low levels. Like these looks like one lit, and that's another. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I thank you for joining me for this recap. This is Free Arena Mencha. I wish you good fortune on the quest of life.